The Calgary Police Service is investigating after a man died this morning. At approximately 10 a.m. on Wednesday, September 6th, 2017, the Calgary Police Service was called to a check on welfare complaint of a man who had collapsed outside of an apartment building in the 5700 block of 2nd Street Southwest. When patrol officers arrived, they found a man in his late 20s in medical distress with what are believed to be stab wounds. This male died on scene. An autopsy has not yet been scheduled, and the victim's identity cannot be released until after it is confirmed by the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. I want to emphasize that it is very early in the investigation, and investigators are still working to determine what happened. We are asking anyone with information regarding this incident to contact us by calling the Calgary Police Service non-emergency line at 403-266-1234 or the homicide tip line at 403-428-8877. Tips can also be left anonymously by contacting Crime Stoppers. Again, I want to emphasize that it's early in the investigation and information is extremely limited at this point. But I'll do my best to answer any questions that you may have.
I realize we ask you this the same thing each and every time, but maybe clarify to us again why it's a suspicious death and not a homicide in a stabbing.
Well, it's the jurisdiction of the Chief Medical Examiner to determine the cause of death. I think that deductive reasoning would certainly lead us to believe that the stabbing is related to this victim's untimely death.
Anything you can tell us about, do you happen to know where was he injured in the location where he was found, or was he injured somewhere else?
We believe that this person was involved in some sort of confrontation in and around this area. Again, the exact circumstances around it at this particular time are being investigated and sorted out by homicide investigators.
It's probably too early in the investigation to confirm, but this is being investigated along with that other stabbing a few nights ago down by Chinook Station, the serious stabbing down by the Mac store. Was that too early in the investigation?
I'm not aware of that incident that you're speaking of. That being said, every investigative piece is being considered at this time.
Is there was the victim, I realize you first responders were involved with CPR, was the victim, were you able to communicate with him at all, or were you having issues with English clearly, but were you given the opportunity to, or how did that work?
Great question. I wasn't on scene. I don't know if first responders were able to get to this person in time to have any sort of dialogue with them at all.
We're hearing from people in this area, in this neighborhood, that crime is increasing in the area. What's Calgary Police seeing just in terms of crime in this area?
Sorry?
What are you guys seeing in terms of crime just generally in this area?
I haven't looked at any crime statistics from this area. I do know that this particular area, Calgary, is in and around major thoroughfares throughout the city. I don't view this area, like, just from a layman's term, I don't view this area as being any more of a bad area than any other area, Calgary. We don't certainly view it, or we don't have any sort of coffee talk or chatter, to my knowledge, that this is an area that is an issue for us to police. Well, really, that's one of the reasons why I'm in front of the cameras here today, is because we want to. Often, what happens in our experience is people will see something or they'll hear something. They see a vehicle speeding away or a person running away, and they don't piece that together to maybe an event that may have happened in their community or on their street. And what we're asking people to do is, if they saw something funny, if they heard something, if they have CCTV, a camera that maybe points out onto the street near this area, we want to hear from those people, because sometimes those small pieces And those small pieces can really become a big part of the investigation.
Do you believe there to be drugs involved in this incident? I know that some of the neighbors we talked to said that there seems to be a lot of drug activity in that part of the neighborhood.
Again, early on in the investigation, we've really just tentatively identified the victim in this, and I can't speak to whether drugs were a motivating factor in this event.
Can you speak to whether you guys have had dealings with this individual in the past? Is this somebody you've known, or is this a complete random person?
Again, whether it's random or a targeted attack, I can't speak to that right now. Again, I hate to mention it again for the umpteenth time, but it really is so early on in the investigation. We'll probably have a better idea in the coming days as we piece things together.
Suspect, persons of interest?
Nothing yet. Anything else?
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.